Hi everyone, welcome back to Glam and Glory. In this channel, we talk about productivity and beauty. I manage a large team and I also used to compete in beauty pageants. And in this video, I'll be sharing 5 tips on how to get a stacked bank account. I thought this video would be helpful to go over some tips on how you can go from living paycheck to paycheck to a much more secure and financial place. Most Americans do not have even $1,000 of savings, according to reports. Many people don't have an emergency fund, couldn't afford a $1,000 expense. And financial health and financial literacy is so important to overall just productivity and well-being. These tips helped me to pay off between $20,000 and $25,000 worth of debt, both credit card debt, student loan debt, in about a year. And so if you're interested in leveling up your finances, then keep on watching. My first tip is to look into a course called Financial Peace University. This course was developed by Dave Ramsey, the huge finance guru, and even though a lot of people don't like him and he ruffles a lot of people's feathers,
everybody's all worried about everybody's feelings these days. I'm not worried about your feelings. I'll make a living hurting your feelings.
He's very no-nonsense, tell it like it is. He knows what he's talking about. He became a millionaire by the time I think he was 30 or maybe in his 20s, and then became bankrupt and then has become a millionaire again. So I really enjoyed the course, and it just is very practical. I will share some of the content and some of the tips that he shares in this video, but I would recommend you go directly to the source and try to take that course if you can find it available near you. I took it at a local church. He is a Christian, so he does run the course through a lot of churches, but definitely see if you can find something, because that course was a game changer for me. And after taking it, I went from, I think probably had at least $10,000 in credit card debt when I took that course. Sadly, I'm ashamed to say it, but I want to be honest on here. I think I had $10,000 of credit card debt when I took that course, and then after taking it, I paid everything off and have never had credit card debt again, and definitely will never have it again in the future. So again, highly, highly recommend that course. So now, tip number 2, and this is coming right from that course, and also Dave Ramsey also has a book called Total Money Makeover, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. It is excellent, and it does, I guess you don't need to do both. I did both, where I took the course and I read the book, but I do think that the book is super helpful. So the first tip that he goes over in both the course and the book is to start with a $1,000 emergency fund. So when I was taking this course, I want to say it was about, I think I took the course about 7 years ago, and I think to that point, had never had $1,000 in savings. Well, no, that's not true. When I was in college, I had bought my car, and I had saved up to buy my car. But separate from saving up to buy my car, I did not regularly keep $1,000 in my savings account. And so this is his first step, baby step number 1, is to build a small emergency fund with $1,000. And the reason that he emphasizes $1,000 is because you want it to be enough money where if your car breaks down, you can afford it from the emergency fund and not putting on a credit card. Or if something breaks in the house, or if you have an emergency or need to help a family member out, that it's large enough to help in that kind of situation, but also realistic enough where it feels attainable. So I think that's a really important thing with goals, is that sometimes we're shooting way too hard and we want to start singing lessons today and be Beyonce by next week, and that's just not going to happen. So I think $1,000 is a really good amount to start striving for. And how do you get there? Because for some people, they could be like me, where they never had $1,000 in the bank before. And so in that case, I feel like even if it's $150 a paycheck and you're getting paid every 2 weeks, even though yes, it's going to take a few months for you to build the $1,000, it's still worth it. If you make more money, then you can do $500 and $500, or $250 for 4 paychecks, which would only take you 2 months. So I think you can break it up in a different way, but I think the biggest thing is that really striving for getting $1,000 in your saving account is really, really important. Tip number 3, clearly I can't count. Tip number 3 is the debt snowball. And so this is what helped me so much to really pay off that credit card debt and then never see credit card debt again, which, I haven't had credit card debt since I took that course 7 years ago, so I'm extremely grateful. I don't plan on having it again. The debt snowball is basically that you start paying a little bit amount on your highest interest debt. I had credit card debt, I had student loans, and obviously student loans are way lower interest than credit cards. And so what I did was I started with the highest interest credit card. And there's different ways that you can do this. Some people say start with the lowest balance, the credit card with the lowest balance, but I was like, I'm gonna start with the highest interest so I can just get it done with and not have to keep paying high interest, because it's ridiculous what these credit card companies do to us innocent people. So anywho, you are paying that amount. Let's say you're paying $100 and your bill is, $500, so you have to make 5 payments to get rid of that balance. And then what you do is, since you were used to paying $100 each month on that card, is you start taking that extra $100 that you will now have because you paid off that credit card, and you put it towards the next credit card in line or the next debt in line, whether it's a student loan, and then you continue that process. So let's say the next thing was a student loan, and then you pay off that small student loan, then you would move to the next bill and continue to use all the extra money, and you're creating a bigger and bigger snowball. Make sense? So again, he obviously does it more justice, but the debt snowball is huge, and it gives you a lot of momentum, because as you see yourself, it's like quick wins, like I've mentioned in other videos. As you see yourself paying off one credit card and then another one, you're like, oh, I can actually do this thing. And it is really great motivation to keep going. So the 4th tip that I want to talk about is if you work for an employer that has a retirement plan and that contributes to that retirement plan, whether it's 3%, 4%, 5%, where they will match, give you a employer contribution match for whatever you're contributing, even if you want to be focusing your money to get that $1,000 in your savings to pay off your debt, you should put money in your retirement with your employer, because to not do that, even though you may be like, oh, I need that 3% or I need that 5%, you're leaving money on the table, and it's free money. So absolutely, it's very, very important that you do that, to take advantage of it, even if you're young, okay? So like if you are 22 and this is your first job, you need to opt into that retirement plan. Don't feel like because you live at home, because you don't pay rent, that you shouldn't get retirement. You need to start early. That is what's going to make you money, that you're investing and that you're letting it sit, and then it's compounding, and next thing you know, you'll be Warren Buffett. So yes, very, very important. I would say really I should have made this an earlier tip, because really you want to do this right as you're starting your savings fund for that $1,000. You want to be opting into that retirement plan. Whether it's a 403b, a 401k, Roth IRA, it doesn't matter. Start it. Number 5, and this one honestly in a way I think is the most important, and that is to get yourself an accountability partner who's going to support you and be an ear to listen to as you're working on your financial journey. In the US, we don't really talk about money like that. It's kind of like a taboo topic. You don't talk about how much you make. You really don't share things with other people. But 1, I think that's really silly, and 2, it's really important. I mean, if you know that you can be better in paying your bills on time, increasing your savings account, contributing to your retirement plan, then tell a close friend, listen, I want to do this. This is an area that I want to focus in 2022, new year, new me, and have them support you in that. When I was doing this 7 years ago, my accountability partner that I chose was, at that time we were friends, now he's my boyfriend, and that was so helpful, because literally after each class that I was going to when I was doing Financial Peace University, I would tell him what the assignment was that week and what my commitment was, and then he would follow up with me and ask me, and I knew I could ask him questions, that I could bounce ideas off of him. And so I think accountability partners are a huge win. I have accountability partners for everything. I have accountability partners for work. I have accountability partners for exercise. I have accountability partners for this YouTube channel. I have accountability partners for everything. And for me, when I know that I have to answer to someone, or that they're gonna text me like, hey, did you do that thing? Or hey, did you do what you said you were gonna do? Or hey, did you do that workout? It is such a huge help. And so we're not gonna be motivated all the time. We're not perfect, but leveraging other people and creating a strong support system around ourselves is really where the magic happens. So get yourself an accountability partner. I really think it's a game changer. And if you have an accountability partner and they're kind of like slacking off, not checking on you, go to the next person in line, because you want somebody who is going to support you and who is going to be like applauding you for trying to set yourself up for success and try to set yourself up for a better future. So I hope you guys enjoyed these tips. Let me know if any of it resonates with you. I can do a future video about how I did pay off that $25,000 in that year in a future video. If you all are interested, let me know in the comments. And also my sister, huge shout out to her, because she paid off over $500,000 in about 5 years, which is puts my 2025 to total shame. And so maybe I can convince her to come on here and do a video with me, because I just think financial health and well-being and literacy is so, so important. So I hope you guys found this helpful. See you in the next one. Bye.